Hey everyone, Giga Domingo and Quay here, and I am, which means Talking Feather Woman, and I am also known as Roly Alaire, and I am here with Mr. Clark, who is using the other keyboard and he's typing away, and he's just going to have his own entertainment. So we're going to see how that goes. So this will be the first time that I try and teach a recorded class with Mr. Clark. So we'll see how it goes. And if it doesn't go so well, then all I'm going to do is just reschedule another time when Sheldon can keep an eye on him, because I don't say no to having Clark over. So I am just going to do with what it is that we do. So today we're talking about, yeah, you be careful. So today we're going to talk about emotional strategies for building emotional resilience. And so how resilient can you be when you have a little one who is keeping you entertained during this time? And so when my kids were little, that was one of the things that I worked from home. And so I did what it is that I needed to do while the boys were little. And I just continue to do that with Clark. So typically I don't do the recordings, but it is what it is, and I'm going to try it. And like I said, if it doesn't work and there is too much disruption, then I will just start again and have it go with it. And so, oh no, did you like knock it all over? Clean it up. He dropped it all over the floor. So, but today in this session, we're going to be exploring emotional resilience and why it's important and practical strategies for building and maintaining it. And so by the end of the session, you're going to have a better handle and a better understanding on how to handle stress and bounce back from challenges. I am not sure how. You're pretty noisy. You're pretty noisy. So his dad is quite loud as well. I'm just saying. So what is emotional resilience? So emotional resilience is the ability to adapt to stressful situations and bounce back from adversity. It's about maintaining flexibility and balance in one's life as one deals with stressful circumstances and traumatic events. Emotional resilience involves skills and behaviors that anyone can learn and develop. And most of us have already built a lot of emotional resilience. And so that is one of the things that is really interesting. See, and even him. So he agrees. Oh, you're sliding away. You're going to have to bring your stool back closer. Your stool is running away. So one of the things that is really important is emotional resilience helps you handle life's challenges more effectively and reduces the impact of stress and improves overall well-being. Resilient people can better maintain positive relationships, stay focused on their goals, and recover from setbacks. And so, and this part of things is also that part of resilience, right? So doing this while Clark is here allows me to be able to still have that flexibility and whatever it is that is needed for him. So there are some key components of emotional resilience that I want to share. So the very first one is self-awareness. So understanding your emotions, your strengths, and your weaknesses is crucial for building resilience. So I know, for example, is that I am super patient when it comes to the kids, but when it comes to adults, it's like, seriously, bang my head up against a wall, frustrates the crap out of me. But when it comes to little people, I have tons of patience and a lot more tolerance when it comes to that. But that is something in terms of my own self-awareness that I'm very well aware of. And so self-awareness allows you to recognize and manage your reactions to stress, regularly checking in with yourself and assess how you're feeling and why. Yeah, do you have to be so loud? Yeah, you do? You have to be loud like your dad? Yeah, loud. And so positive relationships. So strong relationships provide support, encouragement, and a sense of belonging, all of which are essential for resilience. So nurture your relationships with family and friends and colleagues, and seek out social connections and build strong support networks. And so one of the things that I love, one of the things that I love with our circle is that we have that nurturing connection. We have that strong support system. Sometimes certain family and friends are not necessarily the best in terms of who it is that we need in terms of that connection. But it is really important for us to be able to seek out those healthy relationships and making sure that we have these supportive people in our lives and seeking them out, finding them. Optimism. So maintaining a positive outlook helps you approach challenges proactively. So one of the things that drives my husband crazy is that I always see the glass half full. I shouldn't say always. Most of the time I see the glass half full. And so focus on what you can control and look for opportunities in difficult situations. So practice gratitude and recognize the positive aspects of your life. And so again, those are components that are really important for our emotional resilience. And so if you're listening to this and you can still hear Clark, let me know if you can hear me. Oh, he just found the cat. So let me know if you can still hear me throughout. So self-regulation. So managing your emotions and behaviors in the face of stress is key to resilience. So again, it's that fluctuating, right? So like for the most part, I can navigate my emotions, but at the same time, sometimes they get over heightened. And so it's really important for me to be able to remember that and to be able to kind of stay in that grounded, as grounded as possible. So the initial impact of whatever it is that's going on, I may be like running 1,000 miles an hour, trying to like stay focused on what are all the things that I need to be doing, and don't always make things clear, but it's still, we can still hear me. Thanks, Christine. And so just being able to continue with that piece. So developing a healthy coping mechanism like deep breathing, mindfulness, and physical activity, learning to stay calm and staying composed during challenging times. And so if I'm in the midst of something for myself, that might be a little bit more challenging. But when I'm in the midst of somebody else's, something else that's going challenging for someone else, I can generally kind of keep things pretty emotionally regulated. Doesn't mean I'm not going to cry. That's a given. The other part is problem-solving skills. So effective problem-solving skills enables you to identify solutions and take action during difficult times. So breaking down problems into smaller manageable steps and brainstorming possible solutions. Practice making decisions and taking action. So that is, again, one of those things that are really, really important for us to be able to look at. And so purpose and meaning. So having a sense of purpose and meaning in life provides motivation and direction in helping you stay focused and resilient. Identify. Do you have to be so loud? So, yeah, you really do. Yeah, like your dada. I know your dada's loud too. So having a sense of purpose and meaning in life provides motivation and direction. So helping you stay focused and resilient. So identify your core values and set goals that align with them and engage in activities that bring you joy and fulfillment. And those core values are extremely, extremely important. So, and for me, the laughter of kids is definitely something that keeps me going. And so that definitely helps to build my resilience. And so he's thinking that's pretty funny because I'm tickling him. So practical strategies to build emotional resilience. So we talked about self-awareness. So develop self-awareness. So practice mindfulness and reflective journaling to become more aware of your thoughts and emotions. Take time each day to check in with yourself and assess how you're feeling. reflect on your experiences and identify patterns in your emotion and behaviors. And especially when there's lots of things going on in your life, because the more that you can actually identify some of those things, like that self-awareness is key. And so when you can practice that self-awareness and really stay connected to that piece, that makes a huge, huge difference. So strengthen relationships. So we were talking about relationships. So invest time in building and maintaining supportive relationships with family, friends, and colleagues. Reach out to others for support and offer support in return. So one of the girls in our circle made a really, and this is something that is always really important for people to know, but one of the things that I love is that how we actually get to remind each other of things. And so this one particular situation, are you locking Lizzie out? So he likes to play with doors now. So that's one of his things. So he loves to play with doors. So he just locked Lizzie out. Did you lock Lizzie out? So one of the things in terms of like strengthening those relationships, but one of the things is that a lot of people that I work with, a lot of people that I'm connected with are always there to give. And then when it's time for them to receive, they're often like, no, I'm okay. No, I'm okay. And so one of the things that they shared was reminding us that it is important for us to give of ourselves to others. Let other people help us. Let them, because when we help somebody else, we feel good. And so let somebody else feel good too. And I love that that was one of the things that Jenny reminded us. So Clark is like walking all over the place now. So one of the things is join social groups or clubs and expand your social network. So the more people that you can have connected around you, but again, make sure that they are the right people. Cultivate optimism. So focus on the positive aspects of your life. Practice gratitude. So if you've been following me for a while, you know that April 1st, I do a 30-day gratitude challenge. And so reframe negative thoughts into positive ones. So again, when we have those negative thoughts, take a look and see how can we look at the perspective differently. So again, there was somebody in our circle that was actually there was a situation that happened. And one of the things, it was like, oh my gosh, like this is just so devastating. And then when she came back, it was like, okay, but this is what I learned from this. This is what I got out of this. And so it was just really nice to be able to see that changing that negative aspect into something positive. So keep a gratitude journal and write down 3 things that you're grateful for each day. And that is so important for us to do, because then it allows us to be able to build on that, right? So every day we can look for something that, especially when we're in those difficult situations, that we can actually remember, right? So I am blessed that I get to spend time with this noisy baby. And I love every second of it. And like I said, I wasn't sure how this was going to go with this, but it is what it is. And I'm not going to say, no, I can't, I'm not taking him. Right. So, and that's something that was scheduled because I have it going in through my email sequence, and I want it to be able to be available to people. And so this is part of the time. So same as tomorrow morning. So obviously I'm not going to do meditations with him, because he's definitely not able to stay quiet long enough for me to do meditations. But he has himself a little blast. So enhance and self-regulation. So use techniques such as deep breathing, meditation, physical exercise to manage stress and regulate emotions. And so our friend Melissa, she uses, when she doesn't do physical activity, when she doesn't do those exercises, makes all the difference in the world. And so I aspire to be like Melissa, who uses exercise to manage her and regulate her stress. So practice mindfulness and relaxation exercises to stay calm and centered, and develop a healthy coping mechanism for dealing with stress and negative emotions. He's laying on the floor. So improve problem solving skills. So break down problems into smaller, manageable parts and brainstorm potential solutions. So practice making decisions and taking action. Develop a systematic approach to problem solving and seek feedback from others to improve your skills. And so when there's something big going on, one of the things that I really like having our circles for is like, let's brainstorm, let's come up with some ideas, like what else can we be doing, right? So because sometimes we get stuck in the like there's like no solutions, or there's only one solution and that solution may or may not work. So being able to have that opportunity to be able to just brainstorm some ideas makes all the difference in the world. And when you're brainstorming, really, really important, like this is key, is that when you're brainstorming, you never talk about whether or not that solution is going to work or not. It's just brainstorming. Just throw out ideas. And it could be like the worst, most idiotic of ideas, but it still needs to, if it's a thought, it's an idea, it's a put it on, because something from that particular idea may be like, oh, well, yeah, I really can't do that, but I can do this piece, right? So like it makes all the difference in the world. So the other one is find purpose and meaning. So identify your core values. And so like that is something that I have been working on for a number of years, because some of my values have actually shifted and changed, because some of our core values come from how we were raised, what was going on in our environment, some beliefs that we had. And so maybe some of those beliefs are no longer valid. So sometimes we need to look at what are some of those core beliefs? What are some of those core values that are really important to who we are? And so like that is really key as well. So volunteer for causes that you care about and pursue hobbies that are meaningful to you. And so for a little while, volunteering was not something that I was doing a lot of. I had taken a step back. There was just lots of things that I had just kind of taken a step back, and I needed to, which is good. But that at my core is something that is really important to me, is volunteering for things that have purpose and have meaning to me, is really, and that is part of my core values. And so reflect on your life purpose and how you can live in alignment with it. And so like that, again, is something that's really helpful for you to be able to understand is where things are going. So my life's purpose is being able to help the women that I work with. But at the same time, it's really important for me to be able to work to help with him and his development and whatever it is that he needs. And so when I go into the house, he gets super excited because he knows that he gets to come with Nookum most of the time. So sometimes he doesn't, and that makes him quite upset. But he loves being able to come to Nookums. And so when I go to leave, and Mom goes to take him back for a kiss and a hug before he leaves, he's like clinging to me, going like, "No, I'm going to Nookums." And that is really important, but that is part of my life's purpose. My life's purpose is to be there. My life's purpose was to be there for my own children. And now it has shifted to being there for my grandson. And so being able to help Brooklyn and Casey as much as I can, and any other of our grandchildren as they come about, right? So we miss Alexis. We don't see her as often, but we do what we can to be able to help support her as well. So activities to apply resilience strategies. So mindfulness exercises. So we're going to start with so we're going to just take a couple minutes just so that you can actually understand, for those of you that this part is not familiar. And I'm not sure how easy this is going to be with Clark in the background, but we're going to just take a few minutes to find a comfortable position. And I want you to just close your eyes, and I want you to just take a few deep breaths. I want you to just focus on the sensation of your breathing, right? So it doesn't matter if your mind starts to wander, just bring it back and just refocus on your breath and just notice where you're breathing, right? So I'm breathing in my upper chest because I'm talking, but when I stop and I focus on just my breath, then I actually focus on the fact that I'm actually breathing from my belly, which I'm not right this second. But it's just making sure that you're paying attention to your breath. You don't have to necessarily change the way that you're breathing. And one of the things that I like about this part of mindfulness is that this mindfulness technique is because it allows you to do it wherever you are, right? So if you are in the middle of driving, you can just focus on your breath, right? So while you're doing, especially in the wintertime, Northern Ontario, roads are icy, People don't always necessarily drive very safely. And not to say that I'm a perfect driver, but I do try as best as I can. But so does everyone else for the most part, right? So just being able to just be, you're in traffic, so you're driving down in Toronto. For those of us who are not do not drive in Toronto, like that's something else, right? So just being able to focus on your breath while you're focusing on what it is that's going on, bringing your awareness back to your breathing just allows things to be able to slow down. Reflective journaling. So if you take a few minutes to write about a recent challenge that you face, reflect on how you handled it, what you learned from the experience, and how you can apply those lessons to the future, to future challenges. So journaling helps you gain insight into your emotions and behaviors and help develop self-awareness. So pen to paper, right? So pen to paper is the best. And I wish that I could find the study, but there is a study that I've known for many, many years, but I can't remember what the study is, but it is a psychological study where people who actually use that paper to pen or pen to paper, it's just a different kind of thing. So like I type all the time, right? So like I'm constantly typing, but being able to just sit with a pen and paper and just writing things out makes a huge, huge difference in terms of that, being able to have those insights and awareness. So I keep most of my journals. Some people do, some people don't. Sometimes they're not finished. And then when I go back and I'm like, oh, look at that. I had this idea like 5 years ago. Okay, I'm going to follow through on that idea now. But that's something that's really important. So the other thing is gratitude practice. So writing down 3 things that you are grateful for today. So reflect on how these positive aspects of your life contribute to your overall well-being and resilience. So practicing gratitude helps you maintain a positive outlook and build emotional strength, right? So I know that I am super grateful for many, many things. And so when I reflect on those, especially when I'm feeling like, oh my gosh, life is just hard or things are just too difficult, it just makes a huge difference when we can actually take a look at like, what are we grateful for in this particular moment, right? So, and with Clark being here, obviously I go back to Clark. I always say that Clark is my medicine. And so I am an Aries sun. He is a Pisces sun. And so Pisces is one of the signs that I really struggle with. And so he really does bring me into that grounding state. And so, so as much as that energy is really difficult for me from a zodiac perspective, he really does bring me into that space of like, and I love every second of it. I loved every second with my boys, but it's different. And I've talked to other grandparents and it's like, but you're in the juggle of everything and like trying to work full time and trying to raise them and doing all these different things. And when we get those moments with our grandchildren, it's like, it's just a little piece of, and like I said, with him, I see a lot of his dad. So the loudness and like the chatter and like full of ideas and full of thoughts, and which is wonderful. And so and I love that part of his personality. And so he's making a mess over there that I'm going to have to clean, but that's okay. And so one of the things that I'm going to invite you to do, so if you are part of our Timeless Transformation Circle, I invite you to come in and share. So I want you to share, how do you use some of these strategies? Because some of these strategies are not new for you. Maybe some of them are, maybe some of them aren't, but not all of them are going to be new for you because you have built resilience over the years. And so is there something that you do that is different than what it is that I've shared? Share with others and like just start those conversations about how we can actually have some different perspective and reinforce our learning, right? So I always say to people, take what you need and leave the rest. But one of the things that I always that I never take for granted is that there's always something to learn, and somebody else may have a different perspective than I did. And so just really important for us to be able to do that. And so for those of you who have listened all the way through without getting frustrated to the noisy little chatter that's going on in the background, to me, it's loving. I love this little chatter, and I know that when I'm dealing with other clients or other people, then it's like, yeah, that's okay. It's all good. So today we actually explore the concept of emotional resilience. Its importance and practical strategies to build and maintain it. So we've also engaged in activities that will help you apply these strategies. So these were mindfulness exercises, reflective journaling, and gratitude practice. And building resilience is a continuous process, and small steps can make a big difference. And so like that is something that is key for us to be able to remember. So books like, so I'm just going to share a few resources. So The Resilience Factor by Karen Revick and Andrew Chate. So Andrew Chate, mindfulness apps like Headspace and Calm, local or online support groups. And so you're welcome to come and join ours. And these resources can provide additional guidance and support. So I want to thank you for taking the time and participating. And I hope that you find these strategies helpful in building your emotional resilience. And just remember to practice these strategies. And so I want to thank you for being here, and thank you for your tolerance of my little chatterbox. And now I'm going to go do some loving grandmother things. And yeah, you. I'm talking about you. So on that note, I will talk to everybody soon, and bye for now.